brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
SNEM's most wanted ADF rebels. Security had foiled 47 bomb attempts before the blasts. On the international scene, protests after Sudan's military dissolves government, declares state of emergency. And in sports, Ababet reiterates support to Arua Best or Dumparaka FC.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
Hello, once again we will dig into it. Uganda police have revealed the name of the young man that died in last evening's bomb blast that occurred in a Swift Safari bus coach at Longala Mpigi along Massacre Road. In a televised press briefing to update the nation in the bomb incident, police spokesperson Fred Enanga said the deceased Isaac Matovu, a 23-year-old, is one of the members of the Allied Democratic Forces ADF. Let's take a look.
Security says last evening's explosion in a bus along Massacre Road was a suicide bomb attack which took the life of the mastermind, a one Isaac Matovu, aged 23, a resident of Kireka, a Kampala suburb. Matovu is said to be an associate of the Allied Democratic Forces, a recognized terror group.
Now, this is the first incident where a suicide operative concealed a suicide vest and belt and detonated it on a bus. We got a detonator on his seat. Metallic bearings were all over him, and several wire gadgets were also found on him.
Only one person died on spot, and the regional police commander Busheny Adrian Kwetegereza, who was on board, sustained serious injuries. 52 people were on board at the time of the accident. This explains the magnitude of the devices being used.
However, the passenger who was seated behind the suicide bomber, that is our Superintendent of Police, who is the acting regional police commander, Greta Bushenyi, identified as Adrian Kwetegereza, sustained serious injuries that were coming from the front.
This suicide bomber is believed to have boarded the bus with a colleague from Kisenyi bus terminal, who police says later disembarked after Maya checkpoint. Police reviewing the CCTV footage to aid their search on who could have moved out of the bus.
And also using the decade-long experience and capabilities that we've had in fighting and countering terrorism in the country, to track down, first of all, the person who disembarked from the bus. We are already tracking that person. That is after the Maya checkpoint.
On assessing the scene of crime, police says these are improvised explosive devices. Police has further revealed that there is a criminal gang designing these deadly devices locally.
From the hallmarks of the attack and the bomb materials recovered, a high connectivity of this attack to the attack that occurred 3 days ago in Komamboga. This implies that the individuals or groups of individuals that are preparing these improvised explosive devices are the same group of attackers.
By clustering these attacks as domestic and soft targets oriented, police is skeptical of the motive and warns the public to intensify vigilance.
If you look at what happened in Komamboga and what happened in the bus park, these two settings and venues are an inviting atmosphere. First of all, for visitors, for customers, because it is usually open and spacious, but also very attractive for terrorists.
2 bombs have gone off in less than 5 days, killing 2 people and injuring scores. The bombers are reported to have direct links to the Islamic group ADF, although their direct connection with the Islamic State, which over the weekend claimed responsibility of the ongoing attacks in Uganda, remains unclear. Abdul Nasili Lubwama, UBC News.
Now, a team of bomb experts who have been at the crime scene in Lungala and PG district as investigations into the alleged bomb attack deepen have wrapped up. This comes after an explosive went off on Swift bus, passenger bus, registration number UAU 989 yesterday at around 5:20 p.m., where 2 people reportedly lost their lives.
An explosion went off on an Ishaka-Bushenyi-bound Swift Safari bus, registration number UAU 989T, between 5 p.m. yesterday. The incident happened at Lungala Trading Center, a few kilometers from PG Town Council along Kampala-Masaka Highway. After the blast, bomb experts were dispatched to the crime scene to carry out investigations. Investigators at Lungala crime scene have been obtaining evidence. The investigation conducted at the scene of an explosion plays a vital role in uncovering the cause of the incident. The evidence recovered can help in identifying, charging and convicting suspected criminals. At 12:57 p.m., bomb experts who have been gathering and carrying out investigations at the crime scene left the crime scene. The Swifty bus was driven to Mpegi police station as investigators continue to hunt for perpetrators. After all security operatives left the crime scene, it eased the traffic flow of motorists along Masaka Highway. Meanwhile, the administrator at Mpegi Health Center 4, who declined to talk to us on camera, said that all injured persons were transferred to Kampala for further management. Haruna Mutesasira, reporting for UBC News at Lungala, Mpegi district.
The Vice President, Jessica Lupo, has said that terrorists who attacked Uganda in 2 separate bomb blasts recently are cowards and will all be defeated to ensure that the country is secure. She was visiting one victim of the bomb blast at St. Francis Hospital in Zambia in Kampala.
The Vice President made the remarks today morning at St. Francis Hospital in Zambia after visiting Adrian Kwetegereza, one of the victims of the second bomb attack. The attack took place last evening on a western Uganda-bound bus. Kwetegereza, who is the acting regional police commander of Greater Bushenyi, survived the bomb attack alongside 37 other passengers when a bus belonging to Shift Safari's bus company under registration number UAU 989T was attacked yesterday evening. 2 people are reported by police to have succumbed to the attack. Kwetegereza sustained a double fracture in the right leg and was set for operation today morning. Adrian Kwetegereza, at the time of the bomb attack, was on his way to his up-country home in Bushenyi from the police headquarters in Kampala. The Vice President also offered logistical support to the family. The bus attack took place hours after terrorists claimed responsibility for a bombing at Pork Joint in Komamboga, a Kampala city suburb. The Vice President also condoled with all families of those who lost their loved ones in the 2 attacks. During her visit to the hospital, the Vice President was welcomed by the hospital's administrator, Sister Mary Cleophas Kizito, the Senior Principal Nursing Officer, Annette Mirembe, and the ward in charge, Christine Muzale Anna. Etole Ed Archangel, UBC News.
Now, at least one person died in a bomb blast that occurred in a Swift Safari bus that was headed to Bushenyi. Police says the deceased suicide bomber is a member of the Allied Democratic Front, ADF. As Ivan Kahwa gives an account of the developments of the incident, several people on board, including Regional Police Commander Adrian Kwetereza, sustained injuries.
Barely 2 days after a bomb blast in Ikomamboga, Kawempe division near Kampala, another bomb exploded in a Swift Safari bus at Lungala Trading Center, Mpigi district, about 32 kilometers from the capital city, Kampala. The ill-fated bus heading to Ishaka Bushenyi via Mbarara City had left Kisenyi bus terminal at about 4:30 p.m. The driver managed to control and stop the bus, although the moment was characterized by stampede as passengers scampered for safety out of the vehicle. At first I thought it was the tire of the vehicle that had burst, but on seeing smoke in the bus, I got frightened and threw my property through the window while other people were using it to escape. I was the last to exit the bus.
So our joint team of bomb and forensic experts managed to locate remnants of the bomb materials on the deceased.
The survivors who shared a seat with the deceased confirmed that there was minimum checking of passengers at the time of boarding the bus. This type of bus is licensed to carry 64 passengers, though due to government guidelines on COVID-19, it was supposed to operate at half capacity, although it has been established that the bus was carrying 52 passengers.
The surprising bit is that I was seated with him, but I'm not harmed, though the chair he was occupying got completely torn.
She narrates that one of the passengers was curious about the behavior of the deceased, whom police have identified as Matovo Isaac, aged 23 years.
He told him that it is as if you're not going. Are you among those who operate from here, or you're traveling with us? Because his character was portraying someone who is not serious.
That the attacker was initially in company of another suspected terrorist, and they both boarded Swift Safari's bus under registration number UAU 989T.
Reacting to the incident, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in a tweet, says the hunt continues, noting that the clues are clear and plenty. This woman believed that the deceased might have been on a suicide bomb mission.
When you see how the intestines were shattered, I suspect that the deceased might have been the one carrying the explosive device.
Police has since confirmed her assertion.
Now, this is the first incident where a suicide operative concealed a suicide vest and belt and detonated it on a bus.
And it is around 9:40 p.m. The dead body is still in the Swift coach.
The road was sealed off until the deceased's body was evacuated and the compromised bus driven to another point as investigations commenced. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
To speak more on security alertness and vigilance, we will be hosting Hussein Nsovya, the Superintendent of Police Counter-Terrorism Directorate. When we return from this break, do stick around.
Today in history. On 26th October 1981, President Milton Obote's bodyguard returned to Uganda from West Germany. Captain James Odong, the head of the presidential escort unit, had been hospitalized in West Germany after getting involved in a motor accident on the Entebbe-Kampala highway. Captain Odong sustained a broken bone and suffered a dislocation in the shoulder.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN Shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Nga bagamba kano ke twolekedde mulimu ebirungo kyalo n'olwekyo njagala weekali. Ng'ino mu kaseera kano ngenda kusaba olindirira ekiddako saagala otegategane amaaso ku lutimbe njagala weekali.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Uganda, today is a great day to work towards your dreams. Dial *185*7# and select savings to save as low as 500 Ugandan shillings on regular savings or 250,000 Ugandan shillings for fixed deposits. Airtel Money Super Saver is powered by KCB Bank Uganda. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless. T's and C's apply.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Everyone is talking about MTN Shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
you go, MTN.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Everyone is talking about MTN Shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. This is still News Tonight. Now, on Saturday evening, one person was killed in a bomb attack in a pork joint in Komamboga. Just a day after, another explosion claimed a life and left others injured. Today in studio, we have the Superintendent of Police Counter-Terrorism Directorate, Hussein Nsobia, to speak to us on security measures and what police is doing in this regard. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Rhodah.
Fande, are there any similarities in the two attacks that happened, that on Saturday and that happened on Monday?
Good evening, viewers. Similarities could be there. That these are terror acts. What happened on Saturday and the one of yesterday are all terror acts. The terror actors could be people who might have been with the criminal-minded intentions, and they are here to do whatever they want to accomplish their mission. But much as they are doing that, we are following them slowly. Sooner or later, they will be exposed. We have a lot to do, and we have done a lot as police, because we know these people have their criminal intentions. One is to advertise their existence. They want to create a widespread fear. They want to provoke government from overreaction and more others. But I know this one has ever been done, and we followed them until where it ended. They are trying to do whatever they are doing, but we put a sharp eye onto them. As security, as police, We have done a lot to follow up these people. After the attack, we have engaged the transport industry, mostly the taxi operators and stage managers. We engaged them, encouraged them to be alert and vigilant. First of all, we called on them to be calm. And we are calling on all Ugandans to be calm. The situation will be back to normal as it is now. It is in fact almost normal. But we are saying that we only encourage you to give us more information as regards to whatever is happening in your areas of localities. We are asking Ugandans to be calm. Terrorists are human beings who look like you and me. Though they have some criminal minds, but we are saying if you have a sharp eye, which is the best weapon in the fight against these terror acts, you will be able to identify any unusual objects or unusual interest within the public.
Now, in most cases when such attacks happen, one of the concerns for the security agencies and operatives is that to detect any imminent one. What are some of the measures that you've put into place to make sure that such occurrences don't happen again? Or if they do happen, we are better prepared?
We have gone to the public, as I told you, awareness. We have increased awareness to the public. And we have called on them to be vigilant and give us more information. We have gone on to alert our officers to be on a lookout also. These officers, some might have been with some, could I call it laxity? But we are awakening them because since 2010, such incidents have never happened. But we have been moving around, sensitizing the public, sensitizing all the concerned people. Today, we engaged the tax operators, as I said, and the arcade owners. We have also called on them to bring us their security personnel for training. We are planning to have a talk or a word with the market managers and the general public, because we are even encouraging our own officers all the time to be alert and ready for action when called upon. It's not easy to identify a terrorist, but with the help of the wananchi, everything can be possible. A person you may call a terrorist, some other people may call him a good person. That's why we are saying that Uganda is our nation, is our country. Let all of us wake up, come together, and fight for a just cause, our motherland, Uganda.
So we do see that the community has a role to play in the fight against such acts. How especially can they look out for such people in order to inform authority that, oh, there's suspicious activity here and there?
We have been telling the people, wherever you are, be it here, be it in the markets, that you should be alert. Look for any unusual happening. Look for any suspicious item. Look for any suspicious behavior. The persons around. How do people behave? Whatever you say, you need to be calm. Don't antagonize that person. Don't cause an alarm. Be calm, but politely involve the security. You can involve the LOCs if at all you are hard up, but you can call on the police. We have the numbers we have sent to the communities. We can come up and remove that person within that society quietly. Even this information can be passed to any, be it police, be it any security organization, be it even the local leaders or the religious leaders. It can reach us. So the role the community is expected out of the community is to give us as much as information regards to whatever is happening in their areas. We may as well call on them to tell them that whatever is happening has ever happened here, but they should not be scared. Let them remain vigilant and alert. The situation is under control. We shall do whatever is needed to ensure that Ugandans are safe. So how then do Ugandans respond to such attacks? For instance, what happened in Komamboga and on the bus? How does someone respond to such attack in order not to increase the chances of injury or any other? Terrorism is a societal fight, that it needs your efforts, joint efforts. So the only thing we would request the public to do is to look at whatever is going on. If a person comes into your area or where you stay, look at that person. What is that person carrying? What has he come with? Don't allow anything to be left behind. Whatever you see and you are not sure of it, call for support, call for security. We have seen people who are nervous. In case he comes towards you, you look at the person, it looks nervous. You need to worry about that. Why is that person really so nervous? Why is that person so not settled? Such suspicion will cause you to call for security help. And we are ready to come up for your assistance. We are saying that terrorism has a lot of actors. It has the sympathizers, has well-wishers and funders. These people may want to advertise their existence, may want to provoke, as we said, but we shouldn't allow such provocations as Ugandans. Let everyone get on board. So fighting terrorism, as I said earlier, is a societal fight, and it is incumbent upon us, all Ugandans, wherever you are, to do what is needed of you, is give the information as regards to what is going on within your localities. I would want to call on people to be calm. Calmness is the solution, because you are wherever you are. If you see anything or any person, engage him, greet that person, ask him some questions. If he wants any assistance, if he looks at a new person, try to keep him around, engaged, such that others can come in to call for security, such that any time such a person can be apprehended. I would want to say that whatever happened has happened, but if you and me come together, we shall overcome it.
Thank you very much, Afande, for those words. In other words, whatever could have happened could have been prevented if we are all vigilant. Let's take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN Shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back. This is still news tonight. Now, in case you notice any unusual activity, any unusual terror activity, and you need to report that, please do get those numbers off the scroll. Otherwise, we continue with the bulletin. The Director, Internal Security Organization, Colonel Charles Oluka, has called for calm amidst terror threats. Colonel Oluka says security intercepted about 47 bombs from explosion before the recent two exploded in and around Kampala. He made the remarks as he met intelligence chiefs from Eastern Africa at the African Union Intelligence Center in Uganda.
Just in a period of 1 week, 2 bomb blasts have gone off in Uganda, with the first one in Kampala's Kawempe suburb at Komamboga and the second one in a bus at Mpigi district at Lungala. The Director, Internal Security Office, Colonel Charles Oluka, calls for calm among the public. He says the hard work of security officers has averted more than 47 bombs since terror threats were issued.
We have received your products, and we continue to receive your products. They have contributed a lot towards what we have done to safeguard the peoples of our countries, particularly here in Uganda. There would have been bombs all over the place, but the public doesn't know. They only know that one that has gone off. They don't know about the 47 that we have stopped from going off.
Colonel Oluka was meeting intelligence chiefs from Eastern Africa at the Intelligence Center in Uganda that is coordinating intelligence in 10 East African countries and the African Union.
This kind of cooperation is what our head of state has been expounding all along. Africans should have a solution for themselves. Instead of calling on these guys all the time, they have their interests. They're not about to sacrifice their interests to come and sacrifice for the interests of a crying African. Unless sorting out your interests sorts out theirs as well.
He tasked the Intelligence Center to upgrade their technology in the fighting against complex and translational crimes like terrorism.
And the threats to our regions will continue to get more complex because we're learning ways of dealing with these people. They're also devising other means to evade security. So the threats get more and more complex all the time, and they're becoming tougher and tougher to defend. I know the problem with the general population, the challenge of complacency. When you tell a person, please, if you see something that you don't recognize very well, some package near you, some plastic bag near you, you don't, please report or run away from it. But we have said it for so many times, people have gotten so used to it, when they see it, they just ignore.
The coordinator of the intelligence unit, Tom Magambo, says the facility is the bigger plan by the African Union to improve intelligence in the continent.
I'm actually told there are plans by the African Union to form another one in South Africa for all those Southern Africa countries and then North Africa. So we are part of the 4 pillars of the African Union peace and security architecture. Now, distinguished delegates, this unit was put in place by the African Union, as I've mentioned, and our core aim is basically to share. It's a sharing mechanism of information and intelligence of interest, especially on common threats to our region. It is comprised of 10 countries, as I have told you: Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda.
I'm Nafka Farida and Philip Aguta.
Meanwhile, bus and taxi parks have started checking commuters and luggage upon entry into the park. Bus operators are also registering all passengers traveling upcountry for easy record management and tracking.
Taxi and bus park terminals have tightened vigilance following terror attack threatens targeting the transport sector. Taxi and bus parks are conducting mandatory check for passengers and luggage before entering the park. Upon entering the bus, passengers are registered with data collected before departure.
Yes, we are registering whatever you are carrying. We normally check one by one the luggages. We normally indicate whatever you are carrying, where you are coming from and where you are going to.
Management of different parks have also taken security precautions on drivers who pick passengers along the way.
We also encourage them to be vigilant on these passengers who are boarding the buses on the road. The security might be tight here in the park, but then these attackers may see that it will be hard to access the terminal, so they use the advantage of the passengers boarding on the road.
Police are creating awareness in parks on dangers and precautions to take in case of bomb suspicions. But notwithstanding police sensitization, some buses were carrying passengers in excess, which is a breach of COVID-19 guidelines.
People are paying money for the half capacity, but now it is full. Do you understand?
Sadam Mubale, UBC News.
One of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN Shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Still on news tonight, a total of 587,505 students are to be placed in Senior 1 and 206,026 in Senior 5 during the selection exercise for candidates of 2020 academic year. While officiating at the opening of the selection and placement exercise in Kololo, the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said she will no longer tolerate unprofessional head teachers who plan and engage in malpractice because that is academic corruption.
Ministry of Education and Sports has started the selection and placement exercise for candidates of 2020 academic year. This time round, head teachers of secondary schools are doing selections for 2 levels, O and A, in one day. The selection and placement committee has been phased into 4 days, with each day having 500 head teachers. The cut-off points for both Senior 1 and Senior 5 have remained constant.
Senior 1 we have taken up to aggregate 9, and Senior 5 we have taken up to aggregate 32.
Most likelihood cause is just because they filled schools that are way beyond their capacity.
To do selection for both levels within one day, the work is quite hectic.
This year, there has not been selection for primary teachers' colleges for grade 3 certificates due to requirements of the teachers' policy.
Now, there are learners who had put their choices in primary teachers' colleges, and these are 8,369. These ones, in our situation here, they will come out as non-selected. And because they will come out as non-selected, arrangements are made to ensure that head teachers also take them on.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, urged head teachers to prepare learners and enable them to progress according to their abilities.
We can't continue to mourn about malpractice at the end of every exam time. I want to ask you to help us to fight that, so that the excellence I'm talking about is not done through malpractice, so that it is done through hard work.
Janet says the challenge they must effectively resolve as they reopen schools is the absenteeism of teachers and head teachers.
We cannot afford to have teachers not attending to classes at this time when we are struggling to catch up with the lost learning time. Once again, the head teacher, as a first school inspector, will be held accountable for failure to control absenteeism of teachers.
State Minister for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Muyingo, urged head teachers to monitor their infrastructure in preparation for reopening.
To see what is happening on the infrastructure. I've visited, Mama, some of these schools. They look bad, ugly. They are not attractive. I want them to go back and start cleaning up in preparation for the opening.
Selection for learners joining technical schools, community polytechnic and technical institutions will be communicated. I'm Navka Farida and Benediga in Kololo.
With that, let's quickly take a look at the headlines.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Police names most wanted ADF rebels. Security had foiled 47 bomb attacks before the blasts. On the international scene, protests after Sudan's military dissolves government, declares state of emergency. And in sports, Ababet reiterates support to Arua-based Dumparaka FC.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Well, that does it for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. I'm Rhodah Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN mobile money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
What do you do when you find students seated under a tree because of their need for education?
Olwokuba nti tukyali mu byalo nnyo tubulamu obusomero buno obwa kindagateni obw'omulembe okusobola okutumbula abaana abo kubawa ebikozesebwa ebirungi. And we are lacking